हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू मनु लॉ क्लासेस। मेरा नाम गौतम दीक्षित है। आज के इस वीडियो में हम अक्टूबर 27, 2021 का डेली हिंदू एनालिसिस करेंगे। प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब टू मनु लॉ क्लासेस फॉर एक्सेस टू डेली वीडियोस ऑन डेली हिंदू एनालिसिस। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द न्यूज़। बिफोर आई स्टार्ट न्यूज़, सम ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन इन टुडेज न्यूज़पेपर आर। पहले तो हम एक नए प्रोग्राम के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, दैट इज़ आयुष्मान भारत हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर मिशन। इसके जो पॉइंटर्स है वो इस बार के यूनियन बजट में पहले ही अनाउंस हो गए थे। नाउ द प्रोग्राम, द मिशन हैज़ बीन अनाउंस्ड। देन वी विल स्टडी अबाउट द नेशनल पॉपुलेशन रजिस्टर। हम इसमें देखेंगे कि यूजुअल रेसिडेंट का क्या मीनिंग होता है एंड व्हाट इज दिस नेशनल पॉपुलेशन रजिस्टर एंड व्हाई इट इज़ बीइंग कैरिड आउट एंड व्हाई इट इज़ बीइंग अपोज्ड। साथ साथ में हम पढ़ेंगे अबाउट द चाइना अफगानिस्तान मीटिंग विच हैज़ टेकन प्लेस। इट इज़ फॉलोइंग द meeting which has taken place in Moscow. After that, Iran had announced that is going to host a roundtable conference, a sort of roundtable conference on Afghanistan, in which China, Pakistan, Russia, Iran, Central Asian countries will be participant, but India will not be a participant. Then हम एडिटोरियल में आज मुल्ले पेरियार के बारे में देखेंगे, बिकॉज वी हैव ऑलरेडी स्टडीड अबाउट द मुल्ले पेरियार डैम विच इज़ बिल्ट ऑन पेरियार रिवर। उसमें तमिलनाडु और केरला के बीच में जो एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग है उसके बारे में हम पढ़ेंगे। देन वी विल स्टडी अबाउट द आर्टिकल जो है रिलेटेड टू नियो बुद्धिस्ट, बिकॉज हमने अभी पढ़ा था कि कुशीनगर में जो उत्तर प्रदेश में है इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट हैज़ बीन इनॉग्रेटेड एंड देन बुद्धिस्ट, नियो बुद्धिस्ट, और ये नियो बुद्धिस्ट क्या होता है एंड व्हाट इज़ द सिग्निफिकेंस इन टुडेज इंडियाज़ डेमोक्रेसी, उसके बारे में हम देखेंगे। एंड देन एट लास्ट वी विल स्टडी अबाउट द IMR डेटा जो ओपैड पेज पे आया है। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द न्यूज़। द फर्स्ट न्यूज़ इज दैट सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज गोइंग टू पास एन इंटरिम ऑर्डर ऑन प्लीज रिगार्डिंग पेगासस केस टुडे। सो दिस केस इज गोइंग ऑन इन सुप्रीम कोर्ट अबाउट द पेगासस इशू। सो व्हाट इज पेगासस? पेगासस इट इज अ सॉफ्टवेयर फॉर कलेक्टिंग डेटा. So this Pegasus software is a spying software which has been used in India and as well as in various corners of the world for spying on various important personality. So Pegasus software, it is built by an Israeli company called as NSO. अब ये पूरा इशू क्या है? ये इशू ये है कि पहले सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने गवर्नमेंट को बोला कि that they have to file an affidavit where they must highlight that whether the snooping which was carried out, was it legal, was it authorized, or was it not authorized. Then the government had said that they cannot file that affidavit citing the security reasons, and then the Supreme Court has said now that since the government has not filed an affidavit, then the Supreme Court is going to pass the interim order. The next is Supreme Court has quashed UP over death of witness. तो हमने ये केस पहले भी देखा था, लास्ट वीक में हमने पढ़ा था कि लखीमपुर खेरी केस में देयर वर अराउंड 44 विटनेसेस। सब विटनेसेस के बयान नहीं लिए गए थे, उनके जो स्टेटमेंट्स हैं वो नहीं लिए गए थे। तब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये भी कहा था कि दैट दिस रिकॉर्डिंग ऑफ स्टेटमेंट ऑफ विटनेसेस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्पेशली इन द स्टेज ऑफ ट्रायल, बट ओनली स्टेटमेंट्स ऑफ 4 विटनेसेस हैड बीन रिकॉर्डेड। और अब जो पुलिस है इट हैज़ ओनली फाउंड ओनली 23 विटनेस। टोटल कितने हैं? 44, बट ओनली 23 विटनेस के ही अभी तक पुलिस ने उनको आइडेंटिफाई किया है। सो दैट्स वाई द सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज़ आस्क्ड द क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम यूपी दैट वाई देयर इज़ अ डेथ ऑफ विटनेस। सो इफ़ यू विल सी दैट स्टेटमेंट जो रिकॉर्ड होते हैं इट इज़ रिकॉर्डेड अंडर द सेक्शन 164 ऑफ CRPC before a magistrate. So this section is very important from this news. नेक्स्ट इज अबाउट द नेशनल पॉपुलेशन रजिस्टर। NPR का फुल फॉर्म होता है नेशनल पॉपुलेशन रजिस्टर। द सिटीजनशिप रूल्स 2003 हैज़ ऑथराइज्ड द गवर्नमेंट टू कलेक्ट इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द residents, not citizens, residents in the country. So it collects the data of usual residents. Usual residents. Now who are these usual residents? Usual residents वो होते हैं जो पिछले 6 महीने या उससे ज़्यादा एक पर्टिकुलर कंट्री में रिसाइड कर रहे हों। ज़रूरी नहीं है कि वो सिटीज़न हो या ना हो, बट दे आर रिसाइडिंग इन अ पर्टिकुलर कंट्री फॉर 6 मंथ और मोर देन 6 मंथ। तो ऐसे यूजुअल रेसिडेंट्स के जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है वो कलेक्ट किया जाता है अंडर द नेशनल पॉपुलेशन रजिस्टर। नाउ नेशनल पॉपुलेशन रजिस्टर में जब 2021 का जो सेंसस है, जो एक्सरसाइज अब चालू होने वाला है अंडर द रजिस्ट्रार जनरल ऑफ इंडिया, सो हियर द इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द नेशनल पॉपुलेशन रजिस्टर विल बी कलेक्टेड। अब वो इन्फॉर्मेशन कौन कौन से होंगे? सो दोज इन्फॉर्मेशन विल बी रिलेटेड टू मदर टंग, प्लेस ऑफ बर्थ ऑफ फादर एंड मदर एंड लास्ट प्लेस ऑफ रेसिडेंस। इसका एक ट्रायल एक्सरसाइज भी हुआ था 2019 में, जब 30 लाख रेस्पोंडेंट्स के इंफॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट किए गए थे। नाउ व्हाई नेशनल पॉपुलेशन रजिस्टर इज अपोज्ड? सो देयर आर मैनी पीपल हु बिलीव दैट नेशनल पॉपुलेशन रजिस्टर इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप टुवर्ड कंपाइलेशन ऑफ नेशनल रजिस्टर फॉर सिटीजन। सो यहाँ पे जो NPR है और NRC है, इसके बीच का ये डिफरेंस है कि NPR में यूजुअल रेसिडेंट्स के भी इंफॉर्मेशन होते हैं, दे मे बी सिटीजन और दे मे नॉट बी सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया, बट नेशनल रजिस्टर ऑफ सिटीजन में ओनली सिटीजन्स, जो सिटीजन्स हैं इंडिया के, सिर्फ उन्हीं के इंफॉर्मेशन होते हैं। हियर इज द इंटरव्यू ऑफ सैयद अकबरुद्दीन। सैयद अकबरुद्दीन इज द फॉर्मर परमानेंट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव टू द यूनाइटेड नेशन फ्रॉम इंडिया। Currently, the permanent representative to the United Nations from India is T.S. Tirumurti. Now moving to the next news, Sayyid Akbaruddin. So in this article, there is an interview of Sayyid Akbaruddin where he is describing an incident which took place in 2017 when a judge from India, Dalvir Bhandari, he was elected as the judge of International Court of Justice. So he has wrote a book which is called as India versus UK, the story of an unprecedented diplomatic win. So in this article it has been discussed that when this election was taking place, the 5 permanent powers, that is 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council or P5 members, they were opposed to the election of an Indian judge to the International Court of Justice, which is based in The Hague, Netherlands. So he describes it that it was the win of India's diplomacy, where finally Justice Dalvir Bhandari was elected to the International Court of Justice. So the International Court of Justice, it has 15 judges elected for the term of 9 years. Now why it was necessary for an Indian judge to be elected at the International Court of Justice? Because recently, means in 2017 only, India had decided to take Kulbhushan Jadhav case to the International Court of Justice. This news is about recently launched Pradhan Mantri Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission. So from our exam point of view, the important informations are: the outlay of the plan is rupees 64,000 crore. Now this program is going to focus on building the health infrastructure, especially in urban and rural area. The main focus will be in creating infrastructure for critical care and primary care facilities. Now some of the new centers which will be established under this program will be a national platform for One Health, then setting up a division for research on disease elimination science and health, then national institute, regional centers for the National Institute of Virology that will be set up, then National Center for Disease Control and laboratory infrastructure, then upgrading of lab and creation of additional BSL-3 facilities under ICMR and NCDC. So this is going to strengthen the health infrastructure in the country. Now Covaxin Nod, WHO seeks more data. So Covaxin is a indigenously made vaccine by the Bharat Biotech in collaboration with ICMR and National Institute of Virology. So from last few months, Covaxin has put up an application in World Health Organization to get emergency use license so that it can be used so that this vaccine can be used in another country, means this vaccine can be exported. So right now WHO now is seeking more data before it gives clearance to Covaxin for emergency use license. On foreign page, one of the important news, but it is following the news, that is China's foreign minister meets Taliban in Doha and they have offered support. So over here some of the important information is that China's foreign minister is Wang Yi. He has met Deputy Prime Minister or Acting Deputy Prime Minister of Afghanistan, who is Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, and Taliban has assured that they are going to follow a friendly policy towards China. This meeting was held in Doha and it has followed a meeting which has already happened in July in Tianjin near Beijing. Now see over here it is very important to remember that the meeting in Tianjin near Beijing was held in late July. Now, there is one important fact over here. There is a militant movement or Islamic movement in the northwest Xinjiang region of China that is called as East Turkestan Islamic Movement, and these are the terrorist organizations which seek to create a separate nation called as Turkestan from China, and they have carried out several attacks in the western Xinjiang region. So there is a concern over here that this militant movement, that is East Turkestan Islamic Movement, should not find a safe haven in Afghanistan and carried out terrorist attack in China. Next is that Taliban has expressed its interest for Chinese investment and to participate in Belt and Road Initiative, which also includes extending China-Pakistan Economic Corridor of Afghanistan. तो अगर हम यहाँ पे देखेंगे तो एक तो बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव का मेंशन है, सेकंड इज चाइना पाकिस्तान इकोनॉमिक कॉरिडोर. सो दिस चाइना पाकिस्तान इकोनॉमिक कॉरिडोर, इसको हम CPEC भी कहते हैं. इट इज़ द पार्ट ऑफ बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव ऑफ चाइना. नाउ व्हाट इज बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव ऑफ चाइना? Belt and Road Initiative of China is a connectivity project proposed by China, and it aims to connect Eurasia, Southeast Asia, South Asia, Africa and Europe through road and maritime routes. The roads are called as belt. यहाँ पे अगर belt है, इस belt का मतलब है the road routes, land routes, और जो road है यहाँ पे इस road का मतलब है maritime route. Now, South China Sea. South China Sea is a geopolitical flashpoint for many Southeast Asian countries, which are also called as Asian countries. So many countries including Vietnam, Laos, Philippines, they have a territorial dispute with the China in South China Sea, because China claims many of the islands which are situated in South China Sea, which is also claimed by the nations of ASEAN. Some of those islands are Spratly Islands, then Paracel Islands, then Gulf of Tonkin, and very famous is Scarborough Shoal. So sometimes exam में this type of questions come, that where is Paracel Island located, where is Spratly Island located, where is Gulf of Tonkin located, where is Scarborough Shoal is located. So इनका सारा आंसर है South China Sea. Now China's premier Li Keqiang. Now see, there are two different things. एक है Chinese president, एक है China's premier. तो अगर China's president आता है, that is Xi Jinping. अगर चाइना का प्रीमियर अगर एग्जाम में पूछा जाता है, then that is Li Keqiang. Now he has urged that there should be faster resolution of South China Sea dispute and the Asian countries with Asian countries, and there should be a code of conduct framework for South China Sea. ये code of conduct को ही हम COC भी कहते हैं. So now declaration on the conduct of parties in the South China Sea, it is the type of code of conduct between various parties, various countries of South China Sea. So now the 20 year will be completed of this. So on this occasion, Li Keqiang has said that there should be a faster resolution of a dispute in South China Sea. There was an ASEAN summit. It was so there was an ASEAN summit hosted by Brunei, where the conduct of Myanmar's military government, or also known as Junta government, has been criticized even by the United States, and that's why Myanmar has boycotted the ASEAN summit. So now ASEAN is the block of 10 nations in Southeast Asian country, and United States is not a part of ASEAN, but it is as the observer status at ASEAN. So Myanmar is the part of ASEAN. So Myanmar's conduct, Myanmar's Junta government's conduct was criticized, and hence Myanmar did not participate. Over here, there is very important information that who is the head of the military government in Myanmar. So the name is Min Aung Hlaing. One-liner news. that who has been recently elected as the parliamentary speaker in the Bundestag. So what is Bundestag? Bundestag is the parliament of Germany. एग्जाम में ये क्वेश्चन आते हैं कि जापान के पार्लियामेंट को क्या कहते हैं, जर्मनी के पार्लियामेंट को क्या कहते हैं, रशिया के पार्लियामेंट को क्या कहते हैं. ओके, सो बुंदेशताग इज नोन एज द नेम ऑफ पार्लियामेंट ऑफ जर्मनी. जापान के पार्लियामेंट को डाइट कहते हैं, रशिया के पार्लियामेंट को डूमा कहते हैं. सो फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम a woman has been elected as the speaker of Bundestag. So her name is Bärbel Bass. Bärbel Bass. She has been the member of Bundestag since 2009. The total membership of Bundestag is 736. Tax revenue set to beat forecast. Now in India, after COVID surge, there is a strong recovery and has helped in increased collection of tax, and it has been estimated that this year there will be a more than 10% collection of tax as estimated in budget. अगर हम अपना यूनियन बजट देखेंगे, so union budget always gives a figure that what is the estimated tax collection of the following year, means the year which is going to come. So whatever was the forecast, उससे 10% ज़्यादा कलेक्शन होने की उम्मीद है. सो इफ़ यू विल सी दैट हाउ वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग सच अ रोबस्ट रिकवरी, सो वी विल सी दैट रिटेल सेल्स हैव पिक्ड अप, exports are surging at a record rate, suggesting that it is rebound faster than anticipated. Okay, so over here, that's why the Indian government expects that tax revenue for the current fiscal year will be 10% above the budget. Now, cheap scarcity to cap growth of passenger vehicles at 11 to 13%. Now, there is a global shortage of semiconductors. Now, this global shortage of semiconductor has hit the sale of cars in India. These chips, they are used in sensors in car, and they are very vital component of car manufacturing. And since there has been a shortage, global shortage, so that's why the passenger vehicle sector will be hit 11 to 13%. Now coming to editorial, safety first. So over here, a Mullaperiyar dam case has been issued. So before understanding that, we have to understand that, see how two states in India, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they are functioning when the Kerala has witnessed very heavy rainfall. There is overflow, there is a possibility that dam may be breached, Mullaperiyar dam may be breached, and there is fear in Kerala. But see, in spite of Supreme Court's order that in Mullaperiyar dam the water can be stored up to 142 feet, but Tamil Nadu has always drawn the water from the dam so that the maximum level of Mullaperiyar dam is not breached. Because see, if we see, then Kerala receives heavy to very heavy rainfall, and there is always a probability that the Mullaperiyar dam, which is in Kerala and which is built on Periyar river, it may overflow and the dam safety can be under question. So that's why Tamil Nadu has always taken care of drawing as much water so that the dam does not reach the permissible level ordinarily. Okay. Now this is about the coup in Sudan, that the military takeover which has taken place in Sudan, and fight for democracy now which is back to square one. So we have to remember that there was a revolution which led to fall of Omar al-Bashir dictatorial government in 2019. After that, military and leaders of the civilian movement, they came together to form a transitional government, and there was an agreement between military and civilian government that day-to-day affairs would be run by the Prime Minister, and military chief would remain the leader of the Sovereignty Council for 2 years. So now what happened was that Lieutenant General Abdul Fateh al-Burhan, who was the military chief, he was scheduled to hand over the leadership of this transitional government to the civilian leadership within a few weeks. But before that could happen, there was the military takeover of the government in Sudan. Now, who was the Prime Minister of Sudan who has been arrested by the military? So he was Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok. Now, The similar incident had taken place in February 2021 in India's neighborhood. Please name that country in the comment box. Now the vaccination milestone and a distant goal. So this is an article where some of the problems which have been with the COVID-19 vaccination and the administration during the COVID-19 has been highlighted. So we will focus only on important points over here. So this is the vaccine order. So we will see that during COVID-19 there was shortage of oxygen, there was shortage of vaccine, even though India is the largest producer of vaccine in the world, but we could only vaccinate 0.5% of the people ahead of second wave. Now why this had happened? Because we were not able to place adequate order for the manufacturing of vaccines, and when the COVID-19 second wave struck us, so there was the shortage of vaccine in India. Then the second one was the procurement policy followed by the central government for the COVID-19 vaccine. So earlier the government used to make all the procurement. After that, what happened? That 50% of the procurement was to be made by central government, 25% by the state government, and 25% by the private sector. So 50, 25, 25. Then after the Supreme Court intervention, the central government turned its policy and it started procuring 75% of the vaccine, and 25% of the vaccine was available to private sector for procurement. And out of this 75% of vaccine, 50% of the vaccine was to be distributed by central government, and 25% of the vaccine was to be distributed to the state. The next was that what is the current problem going on in COVID-19 vaccination. So if we will see that the percentage gap between the doses, that the person who have taken first dose and second dose is very high. Around 70% of the people have taken one dose, and but only 30% of the people have completed the full dose. Then there is some problem on raising the domestic production of vaccine and compulsory licensing. Then the next challenge is inoculation of children, especially when the schools have reopened. Okay. At last, it has been suggested that our economy can revive only if the dark clouds of COVID-19 are over, and vaccination is a very important strategy. We all know that vaccination is a very important strategy for ending this dark cloud of COVID-19. So here we have to now focus on citizens, then children who are back in school, and at the same time we must revive our market so that we can come out totally out of COVID-19 dark cloud. The next article is about Neo-Buddhist. The background of this article is that recently an international airport was inaugurated at Kushinagar in Uttar Pradesh. It is an international airport and it is going to give fillip to the Buddhist circuit tourism. Now what is Buddhist circuit tourism? So Buddhist circuit tourism, it focuses on those places which is associated with Buddhism, like Lumbini, which is the birthplace of Buddha, Sarnath in Varanasi, where Buddha gave the first sermon. It is also known as, that incident is also known as Dhammachakra Parivartan. Okay, then Gaya, where Buddha attained enlightenment. Then Kushinagar in Uttar Pradesh, where Buddha gave his last sermon and he attained Mahaparinirvana. Mahaparinirvana means associated with the death of Buddha. Now, what are these Neo-Buddhist? So understanding this concept of Neo-Buddhist, we have to go on October 14, 1956, when Baba Saheb Ambedkar embraced Buddhism in Nagpur, and then many of his followers, they accepted Buddhism as a religion. Now why they accepted Buddhism as a religion? So for that answer you have to read this paragraph, that in Hinduism, in the social order of Hinduism, the untouchables, they were reduced to subhuman category. They were treated with hatred and subjected to prejudices. So if we will see that there are certain cities in Maharashtra where powerful Dalit movements have arose in the past, such as Mumbai, Aurangabad and Nagpur. Okay, then social events and modern monuments like Diksha Bhumi in Nagpur has been erected, and they have emerged as the monumental heritage site. Now, after that, what happened, that there was a serious debate between neo-Buddhist and Marxist socialist, especially if we see the contribution of Namdev Dhasal. He has said that Dalit is a revolutionary collective of all oppressed communities, and that they shall contest caste atrocities and state violence by radical violent means. Means Namdev Dhasal, he said that there should be. Now there was another man, Raja Dhale, who said that he was the founding member of Dalit Panthers movement, but he criticized the leftist turn of Dalit movement. So see what he propounded. He said that conversion to Buddhism helped the community appreciate the constitutional values of secularism and social justice. He visualized that a neo-Buddhist movement should not be a sectarian project for the emancipation of untouchable. Emancipation means welfare. In short, you can understand this welfare. So emancipation of untouchables, but it should also visualize it as a revolutionary project that would enlighten the wider बहुजन मास. तो यहाँ पे नामदेव धसल और राजा धाले के का एक दो डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव है, that what course should this neo Buddhist movement it should take. Then authors goes on saying that conversion to Buddhism also helped Dalits to find a robust meaning about their cultural past by interlinking their then at last the author goes on saying that the Ambedkar's revolutionary promises when he was converting to Buddhism should be fulfilled only if the polity is sensitive towards secularism and social justice. The next is that why India should not sign on to net zero. So in this article, if you will see important points, the top 3 emitters of the world, China, US and European Union, they emit more than 500 billion tons of carbon dioxide before they are going to attain net zero. So they are going to attain 500 billion tons of carbon. If you see that how much billion tons of carbon dioxide limit is there in the atmosphere, that is only 400 billion tons. So that's why now from here the author is saying that even if India commit to net zero, but these 3 entities, China, US and European Union, they are going to emit more than what is required. So in this article the author is suggesting that India should talk based on the common but differentiated responsibility principles. So they are saying that the talk of net zero goes against the CBDR principle. So India should now work on getting its space in emission of carbon dioxide, because India's has to now has many needs, for example infrastructure development, farmers welfare. So for that there will be emission from India. So that's why India should reclaim its cumulative emission space like what China had done till from 2000. The next is about the Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission. So we have already discussed it. That is going to focus on creating the health infrastructure. It has an outlay of 64,180 crore over a period of 5 years. Now this is going to focus on building laboratories, then regional centers for National Institute of Virology, etc. The main focus will be on surveillance. Okay, so surveillance will get a huge boost with 5 regional center of disease control branches. Along with that, building of labs, building of primary healthcare center is going to boost the access to healthcare. The last one is about the IMR, the highs and lows in the state's IMR ranking. So IMR is that infant mortality rate, means death per 1,000 live birth in a year. So if we see the IMR rank, IMR in every state, so between these 5 years 2014 to 2019 the IMR ranking has improved. But if we see the percentage wise, so we can see that Kerala has performed very best, but the last 2 states are very important, that UP and MP. If you see the IMR figure. So it is 46 for MP which is lowest and 41 for उत्तर प्रदेश which is second lowest. तो यहाँ पे जो ये चार्ट आप देख रहे हो, यहाँ पे एक कंपैरिजन दिया हुआ है with the nearest foreign countries. So you can compare Kerala with US, China. Then if you can compare Karnataka with Venezuela and Philippines, you can compare Punjab with Morocco, Algeria, and you can compare UP, MP with Sudan, Afghanistan, Togo, Niger. So that's all for today. We will meet tomorrow again with a daily Hindu analysis. Till then, have a nice day. Take care.